Well, Shana Tova and Shabbat Shalom. How excited we are to welcome you all here to Temple Har Shalom in our sanctuary, where we have the wonderful opportunity to share in welcoming not only Shabbat, but a brand new year, a big, big year by the number of 5,784. Now, our family service early this morning is different from any other service we do here at Temple Har Shalom, because this is a service meant to keep everyone as comfortable as possible, even if they get a little squirmy. So this is a message to our parents we have created today for you to share with your children. Most importantly, do not be embarrassed. Do not shush them. Do not ask them to sit still. Ask them to enjoy the service, sing the songs, dance in the aisles, and make themselves feel comfortable in what should be their home away from home. This is very important to us. For those who would like to read a book and learn more about the holidays, we have books outside that you can certainly bring in. But I have a feeling that the gentleman standing next to me, and it's my honor to welcome him officially as his first official service as student Rabbi Josh Greenbaum, and we affectionately call him Rabbi Josh. He will be leading us in music, and I know so many of our kids are so familiar. We'll be marching with the Torahs. We'll be blowing shofar. We'll be telling stories. Is everyone ready? Well, then let's get this celebration started. It is the birthday of the world, so who's ready for a birthday party? Here we go. And it's Shabbat, so our very first song, Bim Bam.
Shana Tova, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Gotta wake him up. It's 8:45. I get
Absolutely.
it. Yeah, totally. As Rabbi said, our service today is meant to be interactive, and the best way that you can help with that is to help us sing along. So as Bruce does when he plays, we're playing the hits today. We invite you guys to sing along with songs that you're familiar with to help us celebrate not just Rosh Hashanah, but Shabbat.
And as we do so for any of those families and kids that are still sitting at home comfy in their pajamas watching us over the live webcast, we wish you a Shabbat Shalom, a Shana Tova, and we hope we hear you all the way over here.
So I know you guys know this one. We're going to sing it two different ways, though, and you'll see what I'm saying. Bim,
Ba,
bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Chiri, biri, biri, bim. Bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Now, I know a lot of our kids know that song. I know a lot of our TOA students that are here, our TOA graduates that are here know that song. Parents, I get it's new to you. The words are difficult. The first one goes like this. It goes bim, say bim.
Bim.
The next one goes like this. It says bam, bam.
Bam.
Put them together, bim, bam.
Bim,
You guys are there. Let's try it again. Bim, bam. Bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Chiri, biri, biri, bim. Bam. Bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. We're going to do our Shabbat Shaloms. Shabbat Shalom. Hey! Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. We can do that part again, but we can do it a different way this time. because it is the double today. It is not just Shabbat Shalom, but it is Shana Tova. So we're going to try it again with those second words you see up on our screen. We're going to be using our screen all morning, so no need for those machzorim in front of you. You can just look right up here at those beautiful looking Rosh Hashanah cake pops. Shana Tova, hey! Shana Tova, hey! Shana Tova, Shana Tova, Shana Tova, Shana Tova, Shana, 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 Shana Tova. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Jiri, biri, biri, bim, bam. Bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam.
So we have music and we have stories, but we also have some very special readings. So those who can read, we hope that each time you see a special reading on the screen, we'll all join together. And so please join me in our opening prayer. O God, as we celebrate another new year, we wish the world a happy birthday. We thank you for this beautiful creation and for the many good things that fill our lives, for family, friends, home, and community. We hope that the sound of the shofar will wake us up and call us to do better things in this coming year. May you bless this new year with peace, well-being, and good health for all your children. Amen.
The words on the screen, Hine Matov, the song we sing when we are together. Hine Matov Manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Manayim, Shevet Achim Gam
Yachad. And together, dear God, I know I am in a special place. It is special because other people are here, because you are here. I am here to pray to you with this community. It is hard to pray. There are many distractions. The prayers on these high holy days are less familiar. So please help me to stay and sing these words and make them mine. Help me to feel the love and awe felt by the people who wrote these prayers. I have grown since last high holy days. May I also grow in understanding. Help me to reach into myself, to reach out to others, and to reach up to you. Amen. And we're going to rise together for the official call to worship. It is known as the Baruch Hu. I'm going to ask you to please remain standing as we continue reading together. We praise you, eternal God, ruler of the universe. Your mercy makes light to shine over the earth and all its inhabitants, and your goodness renews day by day the work of creation. You form light and darkness, bringing harmony into nature and peace to the human heart. Thank you for making this beautiful world we live in. We praise you, O God, creator of light. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMa'orot. Judaism begins with the commandment, "Hear, O Israel." But what does it mean to really hear? You tell me. The person who walks amid the songs of birds but doesn't have the time to listen to their song hears but is not listening.
The one who listens to the words of a friend or a child and does not catch the note of urgency, notice me, help me, care about me, hears but is not listening.
God, on this Rosh Hashanah, please sharpen my ability to hear and give me the strength to truly listen.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchut Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
And you may be seated. The reason each and every time we sing Shema, we also add this wonderful prayer called the V'ahavta is because they are connected. And if you ever want to know, where do I find the words to this prayer? Well, they're not only in our Torah, they're not only in our prayer book, but they are in every mezuzah, in every door we pass. So whenever you come through a special doorway and see a beautiful mezuzah, you can point to it and say, there's the Shema, and there's the V'ahavta. Please join us.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושינתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאוזן ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות בסוף ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
And let us read together. As Jews, it is important to remember where we came from. We remember important times in our people's past, in our families' past, and in our own past. Once we were slaves in Egypt, and then God rescued us. We pray for a time when no one will be enslaved. When that time comes, all will be able to sing songs as joyful as the one our people sang at the shores of the Red Sea. They sang this song. Well, you may notice there are times when we sit and there are times when we stand. And when we're asked to stand, it means that the prayer is so important that we should stand at attention and pay attention. So I'm going to ask all my little soldiers out there to please rise together with our big soldiers, stand at attention, and let's join together in tefillah. And we continue with tefillah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol
ילדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות מביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר מושיע
ומגן. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah. And we move on to Zochreinu, the very special insert for these high holy days.
זוכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים, תבוכנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים. מלך עוזר ומשיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע.
מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך אב הרחמים, זוכר יצורה לחיים רחמים, למען אתה לחיות הכל.
ברוך אתה
אדוני.
And you may all be seated. One may wonder, how is it we chant the traditional prayers together? And that's because this is also a way to familiarize our children with the tunes and the prayers of the High Holy Days. They may not know the words, they may not even be able to sing them, but they will become a comfort level each and every time they enter the sanctuary. The very next prayer is one that is introduced on Rosh Hashanah and will continue through the 10 days of Yom Kippur. It is known as the Unatana Tokev. So please join me. We tune into the sacred power of this day, a day that is both amazing and a little scary. The shofar makes a blast, and we hear a small, still voice. The angels are saying, this is the day of taking stock, when the Holy One looks into the soul of every person. On Rosh Hashanah, the judgment is written down, and on the fast of Yom Kippur, it is sealed. Who will live and who will pass on? Who will live a long life and who will not? Who will be calm and who will be restless? Who will have plenty and who will be in need? Who will reach their goals and who will fall short? Together we read, by tuning into the sacred power of this day, opening our hearts and working for a better world, we hope to be judged with kindness.
ונתנה תוקף קדושת היום, כי הוא נורא ואיום. בוא תנסה מלכותך, ויקון בחסד כיסאך, ותשב עליו באמת.
Please join with me. Today is a special day. not only because it's Rosh Hashanah, but also Shabbat. This Rosh Hashanah is even more holy because we celebrate being able to rest from what we would do every day. Today we get to pray together here in our sanctuary, celebrating the new year with God and our families and friends. And the question we all ask is, what are you thankful for this year? Please turn to someone you know, or even someone you don't know, and tell them what you are thankful for. Oh, I know. Well, I can tell you that we are grateful for you, and there's no better way to say that than through Sim Shalom.
All right, here's the contest. I know you didn't think you were going to be drafted into service this morning. You have to try and beat my seams. All right, I'm going to say seam, and after I say seam, you guys are going to try and beat my seam with how loud you can be. Now, I'm just one person, but I have a microphone. So I'll see if I can beat you guys. So let's try it. Let's test it out. I'm going to say seam. You say seam after me. Seam. 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 All right, we'll see. Seam. 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 Shalom. Seam. 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 Shalom. Seam. 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 Shalom. Tova Uveracha. Try it again. Your seams have to come quick. See how that is? Yeah, it's like not even missing a beat. Ready? Try it again. Seam. 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 Shalom. Seam. 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 Shalom. Seam. 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 Shalom. Tova Uveracha. Seam. 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 Shalom. Seam. 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 Shalom. Seam. 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 Shalom. Tova Uveracha. Ya la 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 ya la la. Ya la 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 ya la la. Ya la 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 ya la la. Ya la la la. Seam. 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 Shalom. Seam. 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 Shalom. Seam. 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 Shalom. Tova Uveracha. Seam. 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 Shalom. Seam. 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 Shalom. Seam. 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 Shalom. Tova Uveracha.
Right on time. Now, perhaps the hardest part of any service is when we ask everyone to get as quiet as they could possibly be. We do this for two special reasons. One, so that the only people we should be talking to are ourselves. And number two, it's to give our parents and grandparents just a moment of solace. And so, we know it would be unfair to ask for a moment of silent prayer, so we're just going to ask you to give us a moment of as quiet as you could possibly be prayer. And during those moments, please think of ways in which you can help to make the world a better place. Think about the kindness you have. Think about the sharing you do. Think about the love that you give. Think about the smiles on your face. And think about the fact that this year you may not want to ask for as many things as you did last year, because in truth, we all have plenty. So let's pause for a moment of as quiet as you can be.
יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Truly, for Jews all over the world, the one song that makes it the High Holy Days is the one known as Avinu Malkeinu. Our God is our King and Queen. And so we teach you this wonderful folk melody of Avinu Malkeinu as we read first together. May these words of prayer remind us of our wrongdoings, strengthen our connection to God, and give us power to move forward day by day.
Avinu Malkeinu, may these words be a bridge. They come from our hearts. May they lead us to you, O God. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu,
All right, I need to know who's ready for a parade. Anyone here? Anyone ready to get up and move around? Anyone ready to welcome the Torahs to the congregation? Anyone ready to see our Torahs dressed in all new clothes? And all new polished silver? And just to our parents, I want you to know you are raising your children just right. As we change the Torah covers with our J-School students, one of them proudly came up to me and said, "But Rabbi, don't you know you can't wear white after Labor Day?" Well, our Torahs, our rabbis, our cantor is going to be in white because it's the color of the holiday, because it means we can make the new year as colorful as we would like it. So I am going to ask everyone to rise. I am going to welcome forward some very special people to carry Torah. Our past president, John Wishnia, a member of our board, Michael Feldman, who's been with us here on the Bima, and a very special member of our board, Justin Silberberg. If you would all come up, we are going to march with the Torahs because there's a very special story in the Torahs that we need to remember. How do we know it's the birthday of the world? Can somebody tell me how we know? Because it's in the Torah. And that's what we're going to find out about today. So here come the Torahs. They're going to march out to you. And if you'd like to follow them, march away with us. Here we go.
Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah. U'devar Adonai merushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. The next one.
And here we go. Al Shlosha Divarim. Get ready to clap and march, and here we go.
Shlosha devarim. Shlosha devarim. Shlosha.
Follow those Torahs.
Haolam, haolam umed. Shlosha devarim. Shlosha devarim.
And you may all be seated. I think it's time for a very special story.
Shana Tova, everybody! Shabbat Shalom! So first, before I even begin talking about what was in that Torah that Rabbi just walked around, I need some volunteers from our kids in the room who want to help me out with telling the story. It involves special parts. I need, ready for this? 14 people to help me. So, if you are one of those 14, put your hand up way in the air. Mora Heather is going to walk around. Mora Heather, if you want to bring your friends right outside this door, and then we can come right back in when we're ready. And Mara Heather, one more thing for you. That's what we need.
And of course, not to worry, because truthfully, every person sitting here in the sanctuary is going to have a part and a special treat.
So in that Torah that Rabbi and our past presidents, board members walked around, is the entire collected knowledge of the world. Is that right? Yes. I hear like half yes, half right. So it depends who you ask. Some people say yes, some people say, there's a couple more things we have to know. Some people say there were things in there that weren't written down, that were passed down by word of mouth for years and years and years. But whether we think everything we need to know is in there or not, there is an answer to every question we have within that Torah. And like Rabbi said, one of the first questions is, how do we know it's the birthday of the world? And that's because the very first thing we read in the Torah, all the way, if we roll the Torah all the way to one side, the very first word is... Ooh, no one knew that test today. To give you a hint, it begins with a bet.
Bereshit.
Yes, Bereshit, said the little Torah Bucher from Philadelphia. Yes, Bereshit, the name of the first book of Genesis, but also in the beginning. So it's a page turner from the very start. In the beginning, it tells you what happens, and then it tells the story of creation. And of course, we know that things are created, heaven and earth, days and nights, seas and land, and animals. I bring up animals because I wanted to tell you a little story. Can I tell you a little story, a short story today? Yeah? Okay. It's a lesson that I think we can think about on this Rosh Hashanah, and more importantly, for the next 10 days. So it's a story about animals, and it's a story about people, and it's a story from a very, very long time ago. We'll see if our players are ready outside. Do you want to just open the door and tell them, you can leave the door open so they can hear what I'm saying? So, as these stories go, yeah? Looking over there. All right. As our friends are getting prepared, we talked about this at the preschool on Friday. The 10 days that we have between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are used for something very, very special. And it has to do with two words that even our youngest people here can probably understand. And they're not two words that we make people say, they're two words that we want people to want to say. And the first word is I'm, and the second word is, someone said here, that's a great one. I'm sorry. Ooh. Judaism says we get one specific time a year. We should be saying sorry all throughout the year, but we get one time a year where we are told we have 10 days to say we're sorry, not just to our mommies and our daddies, but definitely them and aunts and uncles and friends and cousins and siblings and sisters and teachers. We get 10 days to say we're sorry. We get 10 days to say we're sorry to ourselves. But here's the most important thing. We don't have to say, I'll never do that again, because that's unrealistic. We can't ever promise to be perfect. We get to say, I'll try better. That's it. I'll try better. So our story is about that. And it starts off as we do. Once upon a time, in a small shtetl, a man lived with his mother, his wife, and his 6 children. Come on up. Man, mother, wife, 6 children. Yes? Come on up. Come on up. Man, wife, 6 children. Perfect. Stay right there. You're good. In a one-room little hut. This is our teeny tiny little hut.
Oh, we gotta be really close together. We're in a really...
Because they were so crowded, the man and his wife often argued.
What are you doing? What do you mean nothing?
The children were noisy and the children fought. Children fight. Children fight.
Oh, no more fighting! No more fighting! Okay.
One day, when the man couldn't stand it anymore, he ran to the rabbi for advice.
Go to Rabbi.
I'll play the rabbi. Rabbi, he cried, things are bad. Say, things are bad.
Things are bad,
Oh, it's great. And they're getting worse.
and they're getting worse.
We're so poor. My mother, my wife, my 6 children, and I all live together in one small hut. We're too crowded. There's so much noise. Help me, Rabbi.
Okay.
You say help me, Rabbi.
Oh, help me, Rabbi.
You can play the rabbi if you want. I'll do whatever you say. And the rabbi thought, and he pulled at his beard, as some rabbis do, and he said, go home and take your chickens, your rooster, and your goose into the hut you live. And he said, yes. I was surprised, but he said yes, and he went back home. And he hurried home, and he took his chickens and his rooster and his goose out of the shed and into his little hut. When some days and weeks had gone by, life in the hut was worse than ever. Now with the quarreling and crying, there was honking and crowing and clucking. And the children were fighting. And the husband and wife and the mother were fighting.
Oh, come on, look at what's in
And there were feathers in the soup.
chickens.
And the hut stayed just as small, even as the chickens grew bigger. When the man couldn't stand it anymore, he ran back to the rabbi for help. Rabbi, he said.
What? Wait. Oh,
Rabbi,
Rabbi,
help me.
help me.
See what misfortune has befallen me. Now with the crying and quarreling and honking and clucking and crowing, there are feathers in the soup, Rabbi. It couldn't be worse. Help me, please. So the rabbi listened and thought, and he said, now go home and take your goat into the hut in which you live.
The goat.
So the man ran home, his head hanging low, and he took the goat into his hut. And when some days and weeks had gone by, life in the hut was so much worse. Now with the crying and quarreling, clucking, honking, and crowing, the feathers in the soup, the goat went wild. The wild goat. It's a subdued. There you go. The goat went wild, pushing and butting everyone with his horns. The chickens and goose were all clucking. The children were all fighting. The husband, mother, and wife, everyone couldn't get along. The hut seemed smaller than ever, even as everyone grew bigger. And the man couldn't stand it one more minute, and he ran back to the rabbi, and he said, Rabbi, help me.
Rabbi, help.
There you go, you got it. He said, now the goat is running wild. My life is a nightmare. The rabbi listened and thought. And he said, tell me, my poor man, is it possible that you have a cow? And he said, yes, I have a cow.
Yes, I have a cow.
Great, go home and take your cow into the hut. Oh, surely not, man cried. Do it at once, said the rabbi. So the man went home, and he took his cow into the hut. Is the rabbi crazy, he thought. When some days or weeks had gone by, life in the hut was so much worse than before. Everyone was fighting. The chickens and geese were clucking. The goat was running wild. The cow was mooing all over the place. And when he couldn't stand it any longer, he ran back to the rabbi for help. And he said, Rabbi,
Rabbi,
help me.
help me.
Save me.
Save me.
The end of the world has come.
The end of the world has come.
The cow is trampling everything. There's no room to breathe. It's worse than a nightmare. And the rabbi listened and thought. He said, now go home. Let the animals out of your hut. I will. I'll do it right away. So he ran home, and he let the cow out,
and he let the goat out, and he let the chickens, and the goose, and the rooster all out of his house. That night, the poor man and all his family slept peacefully. There was no crowing, no clucking, no honking. There was plenty of room to breathe. Suddenly, all the problems in his regular life didn't seem so bad after all. And so he lived with his mother, his wife, his 6 children, in his little one-room hut, happily ever after. The end. Let's give a big hand wave. Yeah, give a round of applause. They deserve it. Thank you very, very much to all of our friends. So what do we learn from the story? Oftentimes we spend the rest of our years, we spend our days at school, at work, whatever it might be, thinking about all of the things in our lives that give us trouble, that cause us sorrow, that make us feel yicky, ucky, stressful, upset, angry inside. But if we realize those are all part of our normal life, that the stresses that come from those things will come, that the serenity comes from our own home, our family, on taking stock of what we have. And we can use these days of Rosh Hashanah, these days of Tshuva between now and Yom Kippur to say to ourselves, we have all these blessings in our world. It certainly not just couldn't be worse, it couldn't be any better. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Now, no one leaves a story on Rosh Hashanah empty-handed, something I learned from Rabbi. And so as we think about the story we just heard, all of the animals that we can bring in our home, as we think about the story of creation, the beasts of the earth and air and sea that were created, we are going to send you home today, not with a shofar that makes noise, but with a small little token of our appreciation of everything you're going to do over the next 10 days for Tshuva, to think about the animals in our lives, both seen and unseen, something to take home. And of course, I leave you with the great Talmudic phrase, you get what you get and you don't get upset.
And while everyone is getting their animals, it is time to welcome forward our shofar blowers. Anyone who has brought their shofar and will be helping us through our shofar service, please make sure you join us here on the bima. We are so thrilled to welcome many new shofar blowers who have been studying all summer. They have been practicing all summer under the direction of our wonderful shofar general, General Nicole Drazen. And we are so thrilled to keep growing.
Oh yeah, all right. We have an extra shofar up here if anyone wants to try their hand.
And will you please join me in the blessing over the sound of the shofar? Now, there may be some amongst our congregation that realizes that this is Shabbat. And in many places around the world, They are not hearing the shofar today. The reason being that it is not possible to carry a shofar on Shabbat. And because Shabbat supersedes every holiday, there are those that won't be as lucky as us. But just for those who may be interested to know, way, way back in the year 1913, 110 years ago, we liberal Jews made the decision and wrote it in infamy that the mitzvah of hearing was more important than breaking the mitzvah of carrying. So I need quiet because the mitzvah is not in blowing the shofar. The mitzvah is in hearing the shofar. So here we go. Join me, please.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lishmoa kol shofar. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'hianu nazman hazeh.
I need you to help me. The very first call is Tekiah. Ready? On three. Echad, shtayim, shalosh. Tekiah. Echad, shtayim, shalosh. Teruah. Echad, shtayim, shalosh. Shivarim. And last but not least, and they've got to hear this very loudly, Echad, shtayim, shalosh, Tekiah.
As Rabbi said, a very, 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 not only thank you, a yasher koach, a kol kavod. So many of the people, I think almost everyone up here, is a product of a brand new program we started this year, the Temple Har Shalom Shofar Corps. They had training sessions all throughout the month of Elul. They learned how to become a Baal Tekiyah, someone who blows shofar. And we went from having just a handful to an incredible group up here. So yasher koach, kol kavod to all of you.
And you are all welcome to become part of our shofar chorus. If you want to start, it'll start tomorrow afternoon. If you meet our shofar bus, there is a special shofar for everyone. So come and meet the bus. Right now, we're going to conclude our service with the Aleinu. Could I ask everyone to rise, please? Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gdula yotzer reishit, shelo asanu kigei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kachem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר היה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו As we mentioned when we started our service, today is not only Rosh Hashanah, but it is Shabbat. And every time we come together, we remember those who are no longer with us. We think of those who shared the holiday with us in years past and whose spirit sits on our shoulders now. And we think of all of those who for the first time are not here to welcome a Rosh Hashanah. So for those we've loved and lost, for all those who've given their lives in defense of our nation or the land of Israel, and for all those who have no one left to remember them, would you please join me in the Kaddish prayer? Yitgadal v'yikadash Shemei Rabbah, v'yamad yivrach yiratei v'yamich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'kol Beit Yisrael, v'gadala v'zman kariv imu amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam amei amaya.
Yitbarach v'yishtapach
V'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei d'kudashah barechu, le'olam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran b'yama v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom mimrama, v'yaseh shalom. And before we're seated, we never end on a sad note. Rather, we end always on a note of blessing. So each and every Shabbat and each and every Rosh Hashanah, it is our parents who are to bless their children. So I'd like you to turn to your children, to your grandchildren, to your adult children. Put your heads on their kepis, and we will say, Yivarechacha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yikunecha. May God shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha, v'yasem lecha shalom. May God grant you now and through the next year ahead with spiritual, mental, and physical well-being, as we all say, Amen. And I think we know the next song coming up.
You guys may be seated. You're welcome to stand for this one if you want. We just heard our calls. We sang this at TOA on Friday. You sang it before. I need your help. Words are on the screen for our grown-ups. I like to hear the shofar blast, sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, happy, happy again. I like to hear the shofar blast, sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, happy, happy. All right, everyone, put your shofars up. Your shofars up in the air. You're gonna repeat after me. The first one, Takiyah. You guys, Takiyah. I like to hear the shofar blast, sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, happy, happy New Year. All right, your next one is Shavarim. Who has been to a sports game and done the wave? It is the wave. Put your hands in the air and give me 3 waves. Shavarim. That's close. It's more like this, like a wave. Shavarim. All right, there you go, you guys. All right, you guys try it. Shavarim. Everyone, Takiyah. Takiyah. I like to hear the shofar blast, sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, happy, happy New Year. Teruah are 9 little beats, like you're climbing a ladder. It's gonna go like this. Teruah. Like a little pause, like you're a raccoon climbing a ladder. Raccoon, like a raccoon. Teru. You guys try it. Teru. Get your wave. Shivari. Shofars up. Takia. I like to hear the shofar blast. Sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, happy, happy New Year. All right, the last one. This is the toughie. You've been practicing all year for it. This is our Tekiah Gedolah. One breath. No cheating. No breathing out of your eyelids. No breathing out of your big toe or your pinky toe. One single breath for Tekiah Gedolah. You ready? Get yourself loose. Loose, shake it out a little bit. All right, here we go. You guys are do with me. Tekiah Gedolah. Shevarim, Takia. I like to hear the shofar blast. Sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, happy, happy New Year. I like to hear the shofar blast. Sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, 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 happy New Year, Shana Tova.
I was told I could only speak for as long as I did the Tekiah Gedolah, so I think I got about 15 seconds. Shana Tova, everyone. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Josh. Just wanted to welcome everyone back. Couple of real quick notes. If you want to hear my whole presidential address, you can come back at 10:45. But just wanted to let you know the temple is doing great. We have a full preschool again. Our temple membership, we added 23 new families in the past year. Our religious school opened up with, I think we have about 130 students combined between the programs. If you haven't had the opportunity to meet our new director of religious school and youth, Heather Schweitzer, right down there, you have an opportunity today. Please go do that. Couple of just real quick notes. You're going to be hearing about us paying off our mortgage, which is very exciting news. That's coming up. There's still time if you want to get in on that action. But I just want to thank you all for being part of our temple community and look forward to another successful, meaningful, and enriching temple year. I also have a couple of real quick announcements. Given the time, we're going to ask you to please exit the sanctuary in the parking lot as quickly as possible because we have our next service at 10:45. Please come back this afternoon. Tashlik will be at about 1:15 p.m. today. Everyone, adults and children, are invited to join us outside in our rain garden. We have our second day multi-generational service at 10:30 tomorrow with a light nosh following that service. And the shofar bus that all you kids see parked outside, that's going to be departing at 2 p.m., making stops. Just check the temple website. It's got the schedule. It'll be in Basking Ridge, Watchung, and finishing up in Warren for a second Tashlik about 3:15 tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, again, and we'll see you soon. Shana Tova.
All we ask now is that you greet those whom you know and those who you don't know. Turn around, say hello, and say Shana Tova, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shana Tova.